In the Intermountain West, stakeholders and land managers are creating and transferring innovative biological control technologies in the classroom, on the ground, and online with help from forest health protection entomologists and motivated science teachers.
Hello, I'm Todd Breitenfeld, and we're here in southwest Montana looking at the Tobacco Root Mountains. Now these mountains used to be yellow from the tree line down, and they were yellow from the noxious weed called leafy spurge. And we've been releasing insects in this area for the past 20 years or so, and we've knocked this yellow color pretty well out of the landscape.
Noxious weeds are all about partnerships. By working together, we can really make a difference against noxious weeds. We have a lot of groups out there, CWMAs, Coordinated Weed Management Areas. These folks are the county, they're private individuals, they're private landowners, they're state employees, there's other federal agencies. They're all coming together to work on a common enemy, and that enemy is invasive plants.
Invasive plants are one of the major threats to the ecological integrity, biological diversity, and productive capacity of the nation's forest and rangeland ecosystems. Thousands of acres are newly infested each year by the growth of established invasive plant populations as well as by newly introduced invasive plant species. Partnerships between federal, state, and private agencies are coordinating the development of technologies to adequately address the spread and impacts of invasive plants. Cooperative groups are developing biological control technologies as a central feature in invasive plant management and restorative efforts. Developing and sharing these technologies addresses the Forest Service National Invasive Species Management Strategy to increase the use of biological controls.
We've provided these teachers with a lot of information, and we're not expecting them to go out and recreate the wheel or start new organizations. There's organizations all the way already created. There's Coordinated Weed Management Areas, CWMAs, there's counties, there's the Forest Service, BLM, Nature Conservancy, the Park Service. We all work with noxious weeds and we all work together.
We are going to visit sites where cooperating groups share resources and develop innovative technologies to integrate biological control insects into weed management programs in Montana, Utah, Nevada, Wyoming, and Idaho. Dave Radford explains why partnerships and biological control insects are important aspects of weed management strategies.
When biocontrol was first brought to my attention as a newly elected county commissioner 7.5 years ago, I thought, well, what can bugs do to stop weeds? Because weeds are so damaging to wildlife, to the quality of life for agriculture, for even cattle and grazing, livestock like horses that I raise. Weeds just aren't any good for about anything other than just afflict and be noxious. But my point on the biocontrol is back in the 1990s, when this project in eastern Idaho first had its genesis on biological control and bugs that were target specific for invasive species, it was brought to my attention that these bugs market value have about $1 a piece in some areas of this country. And when the 50,000 bugs that were turned loose in this area started insectarities, we now have over 300 of them, bug sites in eastern Idaho. In the 10 county service area that High Country RC&D serves through the NRCS and the USDA program, we just recently last year released over 2.2 million bugs, the flea beetles in one county and 1.7 million in the other county, in a conservative estimate. And that's a $4 million on the ground value to the taxpayers of all of the United States. So I think it makes a lot of sense. Instead of having to buy chemicals every year that only last a year, you treat the areas with sensitive areas like close to rivers, close to watersheds. You're able to treat with bugs right up to the waterfront, not worry about any damage to the environment, but the return on the dollar's got to be 100 to 1 when you stop and think about the potential future of treatment for biocontrol here in eastern Idaho. And the nice thing about the private landowners that we've had these insectaries on, there's kind of an ongoing commitment or mutual understanding that these bugs will be used on your property, but we'll be harvesting them for other areas so that other people can benefit by these same flea beetles. So it's a great project. I think it makes a lot of sense scientifically, economically, and I'm just proud to support it.
You are about to see these biological control innovations in action. First, we will travel with Todd Breitenfeld and Mike Badiola to a workshop in Midvale, Utah, and a Bugs with an Attitude project implemented by one of Todd and Mike's trained teachers for Utah Science, Technology, and Research Summer Academy. We will travel with Steve Hobley and Bryce Fowler to eastern Idaho and learn how biological control insects are helping land managers hold the line. You will learn how Biological Control Coordinator Joey Milan and Idaho Student Bug Crew Monitoring helps land managers understand if biological control insects are working or not. We will learn how the Madison Valley Ranchlands Group integrates Idaho's monitoring protocol to expand holding the line objectives in Montana. Learn how Sage Fitch of Salt Lake County helps educators teach to Utah core requirements, integrating biological control activities and lesson plans. Finally, we will show you how to access curriculum and interactive training media resources online at Biocontrol in your backyard. Let's begin in Whitehall with Bugs with an Attitude.